Community Immersion in Entrepreneurship is a course dedicated to solving issues in the Twin Ports community. The course sets the path for UMD honors students to engage deeply with the community and stay involved beyond the coursework through civic engagement and volunteering. Students are currently working on Food Forward, a multi-year initiative to address food insecurity in Duluth's Central Hillside neighborhood.
This class showed me that these issues aren't simply solution-based. There's multiple levels and a lot of intersectionality that we learn in the class of these issues. We may not even recognize its depth, even with everything that we have learned in the class. But I think the importance doesn't lie with the understanding of all the issues, but rather the willingness to help and learn.
The class meets 2 times a week. One class is on the UMD campus to learn the theories and hold intellectually stimulating discussions. And the second class of the week is held in the community, where students work in teams to build systems and processes to streamline Food Forward's operations.
The hands-on engagement on Wednesdays, supplemented with the reflections and discussions on Fridays, was just a great way of understanding and learning such complex issues like poverty and food insecurity and intersectionality. These are really multifaceted ideas and abstract ideas that require hands-on and discussion in class to really understand. And I feel that this class did that really well and helped me understand how these sociological issues come to be and persist in the communities that we live in.
For many students, working with community members in their physical spaces can be challenging, as it's not a typical classroom. This requires students to step out of their comfort zone while feeling supported.
Specifically working with the small groups, like I mentioned before, that felt like a very safe place to come up with ideas.
Students work shoulder to shoulder with the First Ladies of the Hillside, who are community members with life experiences rooted in trauma and chronic poverty. This can be simultaneously intimidating and transformative.
When I first started working with the First Ladies of Hillside in our class, I was a little nervous to work with people who I felt were vastly different than me and who I felt bad for. I realized the First Ladies of Hillside are actually very hardworking and they didn't need my sympathy at all. They needed a teammate who was willing to roll up their sleeves and work with them. The strength in their work ethic was only matched by their love and compassion for the community that they live in and wanting it to be a better place that could thrive.
Coming into MD, you hear things about the area, whether you're from this area or not, like, oh, don't go to 4th Street, like, it's not a good area. But obviously, going into the class, going to the youth center, we're on 4th Street. We're in that area. But truly, it's an area that suffers from food insecurity, that suffers from poverty. And when I was doing my first paper, I remember writing something about how this American dream that we've set up, where if you work hard and you have this dream, you will be successful. But it really sets us up for a society that has this bias that says, if they're in poverty, if they're struggling with food insecurity, then they must be lazy. They must not have tried hard enough, like something must be wrong with them. How can I have that mindset knowing that these are the women, they had these things, but yet they're these incredibly strong and independent people.
Students learn to confront uncomfortable topics like poverty. They begin to understand the social, cultural, economic, and political systems underpinning these issues.
Being in this class, we were there. We had to acknowledge, we had to look at what factors are causing this, what factors are keeping these people in this cycle, because nobody chooses that lifestyle. Nobody wants to live wondering where their next meal is coming from. Having to come face to face with the fact that it was these systems that we have in place, it's all of us, all of our bias and all of our wanting to look the other way. And so I think going into this class was incredibly beneficial to me as a student and me as a person, because now I have this awareness and I have a deeper empathy and a deeper connection because I was forced to face my own bias and to grow as a person.
Community Immersion, an entrepreneurship course, offers students the opportunity to make a change and create a lasting impact in their communities.
I've made many friendships with my classmates. I feel particularly close to some of the First Ladies, which is why I will be volunteering next semester.
Food Forward, the connections I've made made me realize that this change that we're making, the real change in real lives together, and the connections that we made together, that's not something I can just walk away from and forget. It's something that I want to continue committing to, and I'm just so thankful for all of the experiences that I've had through this community immersion class.